So this is how to use gender, masculine or feminine, what articles are, and how to form plurals in Spanish. Okay, so let's have a little look. So unlike in English, all nouns in Spanish are either masculine or feminine. And they generally have to have an article before them. But what is an article? Because often we don't get taught this in English. So a definite article is the word the book, the table, the clock. And an indefinite article, or the indefinite articles, a or an or some. But in Spanish we have to look at whether they're masculine or feminine, singular or plural. So let's have a look at that. So definite article the. So we've got the English the, and then if it was a masculine word we'd put el in front of it. If it's a feminine word we put la. If it's masculine plural we put los, and if it's feminine plural we put las. So some examples: el libro, book, the book. Sometimes we omit the word the in English, but quite often we have to have it in Spanish. La mesa, the table. Los lápices, pencils. Las sillas, the chairs. And now the indefinite article, a or an or some. Start with the singular ones first. So a or an, un or una. It might be worth noting that sometimes it's uno, but we apocopate it, so we remove the O so that it becomes un. So that's the masculine and feminine, and then some examples: un libro, a book; una mesa, a table; un reloj, a clock; una moqueta, a carpet. And then the plurals for some. So unos or unas. We've got some examples there: unos libros, some books; unas mesas, some tables; unos lápices, some pencils; and you can't quite see it, but unas sillas, some chairs. Okay, let's move on. So gender. Gender is whether things are masculine or feminine. And it's nothing to do with male or female, it's just the type of word that it is. So in Spanish, most words that end in these endings are masculine words, most nouns. So they end in o or ema, ama, on. Quite often if it ends in e, it generally is masculine. Ends in or, it's generally masculine. And most English words like rugby or hockey or golf, for example, they would always be English words. So let's see some examples. Libro ends in o, problema ends in ema, tazón ends in on, restaurante ends in e, and rugby is from the English. And feminine ones, often they end in a, or dath, or tath, or tooth, or ion. Any nouns that end in those generally are feminine. Some examples: we've got mesa, sociedad, solicitud, majestad, estación. All of those feminine words. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't know what it is, then you just have to look up in the dictionary. The dictionary will tell you whether it's a feminine or a masculine noun. You might see NM, noun that's masculine, or NF, noun that's feminine, or in some dictionaries will actually tell you whether it's masculine or feminine, or it will put the el or the la or the un or the una before it. So let's do some practice. So these ones, could you put uno, una, or unos or unas in front of each word? Go back and just check you know whether how to recognize the gender if you don't know, but otherwise have a go. So there's 10 to do. So pause it, have a go, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first one should be un castillo, a castle; una comunidad, because it ends in dad, D-A-D, a community; un balón, because it ends in on, a ball; unas máscaras, because it ends in as, feminine plural; un diente, masculine because it ends in e, and generally that's masculine; Unos pantalones, because it ends in O-N-E-S. The singular would be O-N-E-E-S is the plural, so some trousers, masculine. Una catedral, no way of knowing this, you just have to look it up and learn it. Similarly for this one, árbol is masculine. Unos árboles, some trees. Una cama, more obvious because it ends in an A. And un hotel, because it looks like the English. It's from the English word. Okay, so that's using una, unos, unas. Let's use the other articles now. So again, put el, la, los, or las in front of each word. Tend to do on these ones. Again, pause it and then restart it when you've finished. Okay, let's go through the answers. So el, la, los, or las. First one, la playa, the beach. Remember, the can be omitted in English. Los ordenadores ends in OR, and the ES is the plural, so we know it's masculine. El hombre ends in E, but the word means man anyway, so it's definitely going to be masculine. Las motocicletas ends in A, AS for the feminine. One thing to note about this one is sometimes they shorten it to las motos, so they don't have the cicleta bit in there, but it's still feminine because of the fact that it's got the A on the end. Los pendientes, the earrings, ends in ES. La luz, no way of knowing this, you have to look it up. El cinturón ends in ON, the belt. El collar, the necklace. Again, you'd have to look that one up. El pelo ends in O, obvious, the hair. La cabeza ends in A, the head, obvious, feminine. So, how do we form plurals? It's quite simple. Generally, if it ends in a vowel, you add an S. If it ends in a consonant, you add ES. So, some examples. El libro would become los libros. Una mesa would become unas mesas. La sociedad ends in a vowel, las sociedades. Una estación ends in a consonant, and then in unas estaciones. An irregular one, though, however, if it ends in Z, it changes into CES. So, for example, el lápiz becomes los lápices. El pez becomes los peces. So, some practice. So, make these into the plural. Tend to do. Okay, pause it and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so the first one, la luz becomes las luces. CES because it ends in Z. Mujer ends in a consonant, so we add AES. Tarjeta becomes tarjetas, ends in a vowel, add an S. Coche becomes coches, again ends in a vowel, add S. Path ends in Z, so we change it to CES, so pathes. Pan ends in an N, a consonant, so we add ES. Maison, you should note this one, that sometimes they lose their accent when it becomes a plural. Mesones, again ends in a consonant, so we add ES. Ojo ends in a vowel, so we add S. Interruptor ends in a consonant, so we add ES. Chaqueta ends in a vowel, so we just add S. Okay, so I hope you've got that. Rewind it back if you're not sure, and have another go.